Yeah. Now the multitude were ready to obey what Nimrod said. Ready to esteem a cowardice if any man should dread. Submission to the maker was reversed in every mind. Cowardice, the new word that the rebels had assigned. To the holy fear of God, the priest records the inversion. Virtue was reversed and rebellion was the conversion. Built the tower with the labor with the multitude of hands. Did not spare the pains and never negligent across the lands. By the multitude of workers it grew very high, sooner than expected, reaching up into the sky. But the thickness of destruction made the great height seem the less. Optical illusion of the brick that thickness could compress. Burnt brick of the deliverer, the fire-hardened block. Cemented all together with the bitumen and rock. Mortar of the waterproof against the future flood. This the tower Nimrod built against the maker stood.
Babel. City in the plain where languages were broken. Babel. Hebrew word that means confusion. Priests declared the Babel. Tongues of every nation scattered from the holy.
When the maker saw the madness of the building of the tower, he did not result to utterly destroy them in an hour, for they had not grown the wiser from the destruction of the past. From the deluge of the sinners, they had not been recast. So instead he caused a tumult by the language and the tongue, producing diverse tongues among them where there once was one. Multitude of languages they could not understand. What another spoke and what was said by every other hand. Babel was the name the place received for the confusion, where the Hebrew tongue means mingling in dilution. All the tongues that once were one, the speech that all could share, was divided by the maker and the rebels lost the air. Of communication, a conspiracy, a plan could no longer build together what they started man to man. Scattered from the plain into the countries of the earth. Every language carried by a people of new birth.
Babel. City in the plain where languages were broken. Babel. Hebrew word that means confusion. Priests declared the Babel. Tongues of every nation scattered from the holy.
Now the symbol makes the mention of this very tower too. Pagan oracle confirming what the Hebrew priest knew. When all men were of one language, she could pen the line. Some of them built the high tower, aspiring to divine. As if it were thereby ascend up to heaven from the ground. But the God sent storms of wind and overthrew it with the sound. Gave each one this peculiar language for the very deed in the city. Get the tower was called Babylon indeed. Greeks among my readers know the Sybil wrote the truth.
Hesitaeus
also mentioned plan of Shinar from his youth.
Such of the priests as were saved
took the holy vessels too.
Sacred vessels
of Jupiter and Yalius came through. To the Shinar of Babylonia the priests had been preserved.
This the priest record.
The testimony pagans never swerved.
From the structural fact
the Hebrew priests had also given.
Tower in the plain, confusion of the tongue beneath the heaven. Babel. In the Hebrew is the word for the confusion. Babel. Is the meaning of the place of the dilution of the tongues the maker scattered from the plain of Shinar. Babylon, the city name for what the rebels did go far. Every nation carries half remembrance of this fall. Sybil, Hesitaeus, and the Hebrews above all. Babel is the doctrine of the rebel pride suppressed. This the priest records the scattering, the holy was impressed.
And the multitude obeyed the Nimrod doctrine and progressed.
And the tower,
but the burnt brick was the work that they confessed.
And the bitumen,
prevented in the flood the priest had stressed.
And the maker
did not utterly destroy but reassess.
And the language is divided,
and the speakers were addressed.
And the city was called
Babel, for confusion manifest.
And the Sybil